You're listening to Asian Skycast, the show that brings you the most updated aviation industry insight.
I remember when we did our first show, ABACE, in 2005, and how different it has all been over the last decade and more, as we have really seen the Chinese economy, the whole Asian economy really move to the forefront, and the degree of business aviation, the level of sophistication, the innovation that we're seeing there has been really exciting to see from an international perspective.
Yeah, and you've kind of hit on all the reasons why I came out to Asia when I did. I remember my dad telling me that if I was your age, the place I would be is Asia, because it really did represent where a lot of those future opportunities were. And as we're still seeing them, still bearing fruit today or coming to fruition still today. So, and when you mentioned 2005, that was the show in Hong Kong?
Yeah, that was the show in Hong Kong. You recall we were in Hong Kong. Well, actually, let me go back. 2005, we started in Shanghai. We were in Hong Kong 2006, 2007, 2008 before we returned to Shanghai, but this time at the Hongqiao Airport.
Right.
And so that's really been, in some ways, what we think of as the ABACE that we know today. And
Yes,
it's remarkable kind of just seeing where ABACE has gone, let alone the whole Chinese.
Yeah, no, I was gonna comment on that because I remember that first day first show in Hong Kong, I think, and it was out at the Hong Kong BAC in the hangar out there. We maybe had 3 or 4 airplanes in the static, and then all the booths inside the hangar. And yeah, if you look at that compared to where ABACE is today, and ABACE for me continues to grow every year, and it's been a great success. I mean, those were the early days, and I think the show was cut short because of a typhoon, if I recall.
You're right, but it was interesting to see now, kind of through the years. The first time a turboprop airplane ever landed at Hongqiao, it was because of ABACE. Following year, we had the first ever piston plane, then the first ever civil helicopter, and the most recent addition, we were able to have the CEO of eHong talking about urban air mobility. So when you consider how far it has come from the first ever turboprop at Hongqiao all the way up to an Asian company that is it really captured the imagination of the world in the urban air mobility sector. It's kind of been a remarkable transformation.
Yes, I agree 100%. Much like you and your comments made earlier, came out here in 97, so it's been 23, 24 odd years for me. And as you say, the change the region has gone through has just been extraordinary, and relatively short period of time.
We have a very sensitive government. And, one of the things, candidly, we've been so encouraged about in China, for example, is how the government in the 12th 5-year plan, the 13th 5-year plan, has been very forward-looking in talking about the value of general aviation and the good jobs, the pilot jobs, the technician jobs, and the value of airports going forward. And I think that's one of the things that through the course of ABACE, we've been able to see dramatic growth in the number of airports in China. We don't have what we need, but we've certainly come a long way from where we started.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. When people ask me, my comments are always, the Chinese government totally gets the value of general aviation and business aviation. It's just they're starting from not much at the moment, and they're trying to grow it and build it as fast as they can, and it's an accelerated rate. But they certainly understand that they need to come from the top down, and they need to clearly understand also that they need to come from the bottom up and the grassroots. And educate everyone that this is a potential career and this is where you can have your future. So it's I agree with those comments for sure, for sure.
Yeah, and the government has been particularly encouraging of the student days that AsBAA has really taken the lead on during ABACE, where we are able to bring in college students, not just from Shanghai, but from all over China, and really talk about the opportunities that are available. And I think that's really um, a really important key going forward is obviously capturing the attention and the imagination of young people and help them see the tremendous opportunity, the flexibility, the advanced technologies that are all part of business aviation. So it's been encouraging to me to see the level of interest in business aviation, general aviation, really growing throughout the region. And I think that was really underscored uh, when we were able to talk about urban air mobility and some of the world leadership that we see taking place in China. So just all very encouraging, and we're anxious to get back.
Yeah, I mean, we're here at Asian Sky Group. We're big fans of the Discovery program as well, and we've been for a number of years now on a regular basis hiring in interns during the summer and so on, and just giving, as you say, the youth the opportunity to experience our industry and see that what career paths there might be there. And one of the things about Asian Sky Group is we're quite diverse in the different aspects of the business that we sort of touch. And so there's a good opportunity for them to experience a lot of different things. Certainly, as you've mentioned, also the shows help. The visibility that comes from the ABACE shows and that sort of thing is always helps in the cause too.
It's a show, so it's an opportunity to showcase uh, quality of the jobs that are being created, the quality of the products, the technology involved, the craftsmanship involved, and the inherent purpose. We recognize that the business airplane is a business tool. It's a tool that can allow you to turn travel time into productive work time. It can reduce the time out of office. It can move people who can discuss private matters in private. And it allows you to move products as well. Maybe you've got equipment that is too big to go in a cargo hold or too sensitive to go in a cargo hold. All of that helps define business aviation, which we have found in sometimes is the best way to accomplish a mission. In some ways, it's really the only way to accomplish the mission. So there's clearly a need for business aviation. It serves a very important niche, um, and we want to make sure everybody understands the inherent value in this tool. And when used appropriately, it can just do great things.
And then we'll see eBase and ABACE next year at the normal times, assuming.
Yeah, every year, a base, as you
And
know,
sorry, and LabACE. I mustn't forget them as well.
A base will take place. It's scheduled in April, and E base takes place in May. I think that will be another important time. It'll be springtime, and I think those shows will represent a really exciting opening of the entire world, and we're looking forward to those.
Anything new expected from ABACE, or is it still too far out at this point in time? You're
Well, I think
not drilling down on that show just yet.
Well, obviously, as we discussed at the start, ABACE has been kind of a fundamental milestone to mark uh, Asia's growing impact on world business aviation. We talked about kind of that full spectrum that we have seen over the course of the years, and so it has been. I think it'll mark another milestone next April when we continue to see the growth of Asian exhibitors, Asian operators as well as the attraction that the market brings by pulling in all of the great international companies. It always represents an important milestone in the evolution of business aviation in Asia. It always brings out kind of the best the international world has to offer, but it also reflects Asian characteristics and Chinese characteristics, which makes it a really unique and important international show, global show.
I guess last but not least, you know the Asia market as probably as well as the rest of us. You spent a lot of your time out here promoting the industry. In your mind, again, just trying to pick your thoughts here, where do you see the opportunities and where do you see the future of the industry out here in particular? We always talk about China, but as we know, Asia encompasses a lot of different continents and countries. Just any last sort of thoughts you have on the Asia Pacific region?
Well, I think one of the reasons that we are and have always been excited about ABACE is that the A stands for Asia. And we see that entire region as being a really exciting opportunity across the board. The population is significant. The geographic area is significant, and oftentimes the most efficient way to move people and products and services is by business aviation. So as we all recognize, the Asian economy is strong, it's impressive, it's growing, and we expect it to continue to grow. So we're excited to help facilitate and work with organizations like AsBAA in the Asian sky to really help people understand and value business aviation for what it is, and to really promote the opportunities and the benefits it represents.
Thanks for joining us this week on Asian Skycast. Make sure to visit our website, Asian Sky Media, where you can subscribe to the show on your phone or via RSS, so you'll never miss a show.